All right. Well, this is the second podcast that we're going to do. It's not going to be as long as the last one, but it'll be lengthy nonetheless. And we're just going to talk movie news as of late because there's plenty of weird shit going on.
Yeah.
The fallout of this Hollywood scandal thing just keeps on coming.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming in droves.
It's coming like the guys that are involved in the scandal.
Now we got like chicks being accused and everything.
I like you ignored that one.
Yep, just just ignored that. But the most recent news is pretty big news, though not new at all.
Nope.
And we're talking about Bryan Singer, of course, who has. First of all, there was like
as you referred to him, Bryan Baby Rape Singer.
Yeah, man. I mean, look.
We all knew about this, and
we
everybody
all
was
knew
ignoring
about
it.
this for a long time, and he has a lot of links to renowned pedophiles,
confirmed
pedophiles that have been convicted. He has links to them, the pool parties with young kids. The rumors have been rampant for a long time.
Yep.
And then rumors gave way to investigations, allegations from people. But somehow it was always ignored or brushed away until recently. He was directing the Bohemian Rhapsody adaptation or biopic of Queen. I say Queen because...
It's not going to be a Freddie Mercury movie.
Yeah, according to Brian May,
it's going to be all about Brian May.
Yeah, their part of the fucking story is the most interesting, which it's not. But anyway, he was directing that, and there was some fallout. At first, the claim was that Bryan Singer needed to go to attend to some family matters. But then he never came back. And then the rumors came out that Rami Malek, who's playing Freddie Mercury, and him were clashing, butting heads on a lot of stuff. All right, fair enough. Maybe they just don't get along.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. As it turns out, during his absence, he gets sued by this guy he baby raped back in the day.
Much.
You know?
I mean, there ain't no...
There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Look,
there's butts, but they're baby butts, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Stop raping baby butts. But yeah, we all knew about this.
Record time for a video to derail, by the way.
If you're a fan of movies, if you're a fan of Bryan Singer's work, you heard about this. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
And the question always was, why hasn't there been any action taken?
Because there's an X-Men movie coming out.
And the answer was he's prolific.
Yeah.
And he's powerful, and that's it. And that's been the answer for a lot of these cases, whether they're relevant or not.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're impactful or not. And the thing is, I'm all about forgiveness. If anybody's about forgiveness, it's me. Because I went to prison. Now, mind you, I didn't baby rape anyone. So that's good. But I can forgive. Like Victor Salva.
The guy seems genuinely remorseful about his shit.
And even if he's not, look, he did some disgusting fucking shit.
Yeah.
There's no... what he did was fucked up. Okay? There's no going, it's done. He did it. But here's the thing. He went and served his time. Now, a lot of people say he didn't serve enough time.
Mm-hmm.
For what he did, I agree. He did not serve enough time. But he did serve his time.
Yeah, there was a process he went through.
Yeah, there was a process he went through.
Which as a people, we've deemed to be...
Yeah. As a nation, you're absolutely right. As a nation, we've decided that this legal process is what needs to go. And there seemed to not be a lot of that money bandying about, and because he did do some time. Was it enough? No. For what he did, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But he did do it. And afterwards, he has not repeated.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Look, he did something horrible. I can forgive.
As long as he doesn't go back to the baby butt.
As long as he doesn't return and do it again and hurt more people, I can put it, me personally, I can put it behind and just watch his art from thenceforth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I can do that. Not a lot of people can, and I understand that. Bryan Singer, though, here's the thing, and I've enjoyed Bryan Singer movies before, and I've disliked Bryan Singer movies too. Superman Returns and Apt Pupil, which ruined one of my favorite books. But that's not the thing. The thing is, I've enjoyed his work. You've enjoyed his work. And the thing is, we knew that these rumors were pervasive, and eventually those rumors gained enough ground. So the question is, why hadn't he be called forward about it? Why wasn't anything being done about it? And now something finally is being done about it, and it's long overdue. That's it. Now, if he goes, he's not going to serve time because it's a civil lawsuit.
Yeah.
The statute of limitations is iffy, etc. Whatever. The guy got baby raped back in the day. Now he's suing, etc.
I remember, yeah, back in the day, it was like something to do with where it all happened.
Yeah.
Which is the part that I found the most disturbing was the fact that he was flying people out.
Yeah.
You know.
It's kind of like an international waters type of thing, right?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, that's what it was during the X-Men thing back in the day. I may be wrong. I didn't do a lot of research. But
yeah, there's a dubious not to what happened, but to where it happened and the details of it. But it did happen, or, you know, enough is there for them to go forward with a civil lawsuit.
Yeah.
And the rumors, eventually, where there's smoke, there's fire, you know? There's something happened, clearly.
There's like too much to not...
Yeah. And the point is here that finally he's paying up in some respect. I would rather him do some time, but there's not enough evidence of him doing something expressly worthy of that. You know what I'm saying? It's too much hearsay. What is clear is that the people do believe that he did something, and I do too. I believe he's guilty of something. Yeah. And until more evidence comes out that's more concrete, then what he's gonna suffer in his career. People are gonna be like, "Fuck this! This is weird," and they're gonna cut him out a little. You know, he will suffer in his career. Will it be enough? I don't know. I don't think so. Probably not.
Probably not.
But the spotlight
it was impressively quick how fast everything was forgotten about. When it came out last time.
The thing is, now it's coming out
during this.
It's snowballed enough to where this might actually have some heft. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And he does need to pay for this. And unfortunately, this is just a civil lawsuit. So it's going to be hard for me as a viewer to go, okay, he's done his part now. Now, can he just get his fucking ass straight and just be an artist?
Well, he can't get his ass straight.
Well, he is gay. And he likes ass. So I guess, yeah, you're right. He won't get his ass straight.
It was implied in that look I gave.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, the thing is, there's no escaping this anymore. The dude did something.
Mm-hmm.
Go pay your dues. Unfortunately, like I said, this is just a civil lawsuit. Pay your dues, and hopefully people will forget about it or forgive you for it. And if they don't, you did something.
Man, I don't know, though, dude. I have a feeling this dude's still doing shit.
Yeah.
He got away with it.
Yeah, the thing is, he is tied into too many of these people that have actually been convicted. Brian Peck and that other fucking guy, I forgot his name. Anyway, there's like a cabal.
It's like a ring.
Yeah, there's a cabal of weird Hollywood pedos that he is deeply linked with.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you say to that? These people have actually been convicted. Some of them are even on the run.
Yeah. And there's always like a mention of Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
Somehow.
You know, he's there with the weird gay pool parties and stuff like that. Again, nothing wrong with being gay.
There's something wrong when you're putting your wiener inside of a baby.
Yeah. That's
wrong.
That's what I was getting to. Nothing wrong with him being gay. It's the fact that these pool parties were targeted at young
kids.
Young kids, you know. And he's linked to all these people that have been accused. And that's just not... There's too much of a coincidence there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, he's a big fucking name in Hollywood. He's a big producer and a big director. You know, he's not Spielberg big, but he's big.
Yeah.
So
I don't think we've seen...
this is probably the most prolific besides Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of just how big the personality is. Only this is on the production side.
Yeah, this is like with Kevin Spacey, I think it was a little harder to ignore because he is in front of the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, someone goes to see, like, Baby Driver or something. Now it's going to be like, oh, that guy freaking fondled a baby. Whereas, we got to come up with a different term. Anyway, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're seeing a guy. Whereas if you go see, like, X-Men 2...
You can kind of ignore...
Yeah, you don't see the dude who's fondling people in front of the camera. So you're kind of like, you forget... You don't... It's not that you forgive it. It's just not so immediate.
Yeah. And I think really that's...
Which is why I think he's gone away with it so long.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You know, it's the proximity of the audience to that performer or artist. So yeah, Kevin Spacey was a very visible guy, as he was an actor.
And he doesn't have the benefit of having, you know, or he does have the benefit of having power, unlike a Victor Silva.
Yeah, Victor Salva is just a director. That's
He's
it.
just a guy.
And writer, you know.
Yeah.
Bryan Singer has heft in Hollywood. He's a producer, a big producer, and a writer and a director and all that junk. So here's someone that's very, very influential in the business and renowned and an Academy Award winner and all that junk. And then this happens, right? And all I can say is it was time, dude. You know, nothing stays hidden in the darkness forever. Everything eventually comes to light, and there you have it. That's it. You know, now the question comes up, can you still enjoy the person's art? I think so, honestly. On my behalf, yeah. I mean, I enjoy, again, to go back to this, Victor Salva's stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I enjoy Bryan Singer's stuff. It's not going to change. And Kevin Spacey's work.
I mean,
he was a brilliant actor.
Yeah, if there's like a scene with like some weird rubbing, then maybe it'll give you like a weird like, ugh. But other than that, you can pretty much.
When I found out about Victor Salva, and I found out right before Jeepers Creepers 2 came out, and then I rewatched Jeepers Creepers, and then I went to go watch Jeepers Creepers 2. There's a lot of weird subtext in there, and you know that's just either people say, "Oh, he's doing it intentionally, he's rubbing it in people's face." I don't think he is.
I heard him talk about it being, or I heard that he talked about it being a way for him to. I forgot what he said, but it was something like a therapy for him.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. Whether he did it with good intention or not, only he knows. But I can tell you from a writer's perspective that you only write what you know. Even if you're writing weird and fantastical shit.
Yeah, it's always like based on something.
Yeah, it's always based on something in your life. Your opinions come across. Your ideas come across. You work out your demons on the page.
Yeah.
And it's just bound to come out. Now, some people may see that as him gloating. Some people may not. It just depends. Only he knows what's really there. But can I enjoy the work? Short of it being blatantly awful, yeah, I can. And the same goes with Bryan Singer. I can still enjoy something he did. I don't have to approve of what... I'm sorry. I can enjoy something he directed. I should clarify.
Yeah, I don't know about...
But I don't have to approve of what vile things he is responsible for. And that's it. There is no...
Because, I mean, really, when you look at, like, especially, like, in a movie, it's not just the director.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's, like, hundreds of people. Especially in something like something Bryan Singer does, like an X-Men or something. That's like a lot of people working on a movie, and sure, it's him. He's the director, but it's almost unfair to those other people to be like, screw this movie because of that.
Yeah, I mean,
I get it though. I understand why.
No, yeah. You don't even have to go that far. You know, ultimately, like Joel Schumacher said, ultimately the responsibility of a movie comes on the director's shoulders.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a group effort, obviously. But ultimately, if you're to blame someone, it's that director. So they're the ones that get, you know, the spotlight thrown on them.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Does that change what I think about a movie or not? No, I think that's just reactionary. You know, I understand people wanting to distance themselves from something that did something appalling. You know, if Steven Spielberg, one of our America's the world's most beloved directors,
it's gonna come out he did something, dude.
Probably.
I don't trust the guy.
Now it wouldn't surprise
I'm putting it on record. I never trusted him. He's gonna do something, and Senor Spielberg is gonna have to change his name, or else it's not gonna be good.
But let's use that example though. If he did do something, right? Let's say that came out. Spielberg did something.
I mean, Indy's still great.
Indy's still great, you know?
Yeah.
He still created these fascinating pieces of work that people have enjoyed for years.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is ultimately what we think because of someone is reactionary, you know?
Yeah.
So just chill out, people. He did something awful. It's good that finally it's coming out, and I really think, honestly, with what's being implied about him, and that's the key here. A lot of this stuff is rumor, and a lot of it is I mean, it's pretty obvious he did something.
Yeah.
It's just that there's no super concrete evidence of the bigger things. You know, right now it's this accusation from a guy, and that's good, man. It's good. Not good that happened to him, but good that finally Bryan Singer is getting some comeuppance for some of the awful shit he did. But we need more concrete evidence for him to be damned, or I should say, to be judged for the bigger things he did.
Yeah.
And I think that should happen. The thing is, again, Does that change what I think of his movies? No. I can still enjoy The Usual.
Still sucks.
That People still sucks. I love The Usual Suspects. And that's that. And it sucks that that person that did it is responsible for it, did that. But what am I going to do? I can't change fucking history.
Mm-hmm.
It just is what it is. It's kind of like Hollywood's relationship with Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
You know? It's a moral conundrum.
Yeah.
Because technically they're forgiving a dude that had sex with 2 underage kids. And they know this is a fact.
Yeah.
There's no denying that he did that. And he technically did do his time. But then they decided you didn't do enough. And so he left. And now he's overseas and he won't come back. So technically he's kind of a fugitive of the law, so to speak. But they still laud him and they applaud him. Why? Because he's a fantastic artist. And that's understandably very, very, a very gray area. You know, it's like, how do you decide? And for a lot of people, it's definite. Oh, fuck that guy and fuck his art. Well, yeah, but it doesn't change whether something is good or not.
Yeah, it's true.
It changed. Well, the only thing
it changes your opinion on the person.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you if that's enough to make you go see this movie or not.
By all means, if you feel obligated to stop watching someone's art because of something they did,
that's good. Speak with your wallet.
Yeah. Speak with your wallet.
Yeah.
You know, there's ways to watch a movie without paying for it.
That's a good point.
You know,
I mean, we're not
advocating that.
That
but,
being said, there's some good sites out there.
Yeah, look, I love Roman Polanski's work. I do. He's fucking amazing director.
I hear he's a pretty cool guy too.
Yeah. But the fact is, he did do this, and that's deplorable.
Him and Bryan Singer would get along.
They definitely would.
Yep.
That's deplorable, man. He did that, and that's that. You know, again, doesn't change my enjoying his work. But it does change my opinion of him as a person. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you can do. You know, you can't fucking affect these people's lives other than how you interact with their work.
Yeah.
You know? And like you said, you don't have to speak any other way but with your wallet.
Yeah.
And that says it for them. That's how you can affect it. But anyway, the long story short of this is that Bryan
Singer's a freaking weirdo.
He is finally getting his comeuppance in some respects, and good, man.
Next up, that Nickelodeon guy.
Yeah, Dan Schneider, man. What's up with all those links? Another guy that's linked to the weird pedos that Bryan Singer was linked to.
Yeah. So I watched the video. I'm assuming it was the same one you watched it because for some reason it was being recommended to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'll click on Dan Schneider. And that guy's weird.
He is very weird. But again, that's another case of there's a lot of rumors. He's linked to a lot of people. Yeah. There's definitely weird behavior.
There's Dirty Dan.
Yeah, Dirty Dan cam.
There's a lot of feet.
There's a lot of foot fetish shit.
As a man who likes feet, even I was like, that's a lot of feet.
Yeah. Dude. There's definitely weird...
Dude, there reaches a point with feet where it just stops being hot and it's just like, all right, that's what you walk on. I definitely hit that point within the first 2 minutes of Dan Schneider exposure.
Yeah.
Like, dude, just stop showing feet, dude.
It's weird, man. And again, it's all supposition at this point. We don't know. But we're almost like if you watch the stuff about this and the links he has to the people, the circles that he runs in and stuff like that.
I don't know if this guy's molested anyone or fondled, if you will. I don't know why I feel like fondled is a less horrible word than molested. So I'm just going to continue saying fondled. That was an aside. But anyway, I don't know if this guy's done that. I don't think anything has been said about that. I don't know. I'm not a Schneider expert. But this dude's definitely at least stroked it to some feet.
Yeah. The feet,
like, there's too many feet.
The foot thing is fucking bizarre.
It's weird.
But that's all it is. That's what I'm saying, you know. That's all it is.
He might have just stroked it. It's still bad.
Yeah. At this point, all we know is that he's a fucking weirdo.
And he definitely loves feet.
But there's no concrete evidence of anything else.
Yeah.
However, his associates that he's
are very suspicious.
Are convicted pedophiles.
Yeah.
So that's fucking weird, and some of those people associate with Bryan Singer. So, you know, guilty by association, well, that's not how the law works, but it's a safe assumption.
Yeah, we can't say that he's fondled anyone.
Yeah.
But it's very suspicious.
But that's all we can say at the moment. And it's kind of the thing with Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's almost 100% likely
he's definitely done
that he's
fucking
done some shit. too many people involved in it
Definitely.
that know him, that he's been around, that threw these parties with him, for him not to have done it. However, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that some comeuppance is coming his way, because I'm almost, like I said, I'm almost 100% sure he did.
Definitely did something.
That being said, I will still enjoy X-Men 1. I will still enjoy X-Men 2, Usual Suspects, and all that stuff. And
I do want to say,
that's it.
I do want to say, never really liked X-Men 2, even though it's written by the same guy who wrote Watchmen.
It's pretty great. You got to see it.
I'm never a big fan. Part 1 aged badly.
Part 1 is not great.
Usual Suspects is good though. I can't even.
Oh yeah.
I can't even.
But
Superman Returns a piece of shit.
yeah, let us know what you think. I mean, it is a very thin line, and I definitely understand people that are like, I'm never gonna watch his work again. I get it, man.
Yeah.
I understand that. And I think,
especially with, I would say, especially with Bryan Singer, because he hasn't had any. He definitely doesn't look like he's like remorseful over anything.
yeah, he does not.
He hasn't had any kind of like, any legal reprimand, I guess. So this guy's just getting away with it, and he's kind of like knows that. I totally understand someone being like, "Screw this asshole."
Yeah.
The problem is not enough people are doing that.
As a person, even before these allegations, as a person, I thought Bryan Singer was shitty.
He looks like a freaking douche.
He looks like a complete fucking assohole.
He looks like him.
Speaking
and
of
Dan
complete
Schneider.
fucking asshole, let's jump over from that to this, which is related.
That's a good segue.
I
don't know where you're
Harvey Weinstein is definitely an asshole.
Oh yeah, big
before the allegations and afterwards. He doesn't give a fuck.
Nope.
He's not even giving a shit about, if this therapy he's going to.
Nope.
He doesn't care. He's got too much money, and despite this downfall, he's still got a lot of
He's
a pull.
still loaded.
He doesn't care. So this is what I mean. Weinstein has been behind some of the most prolific Academy Award quality fucking movies of the last 20, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? With Miramax and with the Weinstein Company.
Yeah.
Period. Everything in Tarantino's oeuvre besides, fucking Reservoir Dogs.
And Inglourious Bastards. That was Universal.
Yeah. Has been because of Weinstein. A lot of Robert Rodriguez, which we were big fans of stuff, has been because of Weinstein. Again, a lot of these art films that have tons of fans have been produced by Weinstein, and he's definitely put his input in there.
Kevin Smith stuff.
Yeah, Kevin Smith stuff, all this stuff. His involvement is there. Does that mean we stop enjoying the movies? No, I don't think it does. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing because the guy put the money, and he was renowned for getting involved. Just ask Guillermo del Toro. He fucking hates Weinstein because he wouldn't get the fuck out of his hair. So his input is there. He put something into those movies. Does that mean we hate the movies? No. Can we hate the asshole? For fucking sure.
Yeah.
And like I said, I even hated him before that.
Yeah.
But I can't deny that the stuff he produced is good. And that's that. I think it's simple, but I get why people are
I get it.
like, fuck.
Especially with Bryan Singer.
Look,
I've been wanting to rail on Bryan Singer, and not in that way because I think he would. Now I'm too old. I don't know why I went into deep thought mode there. I was butthurt over it. But I've been wanting to talk about the singer because this dude, it's not good.
Yeah,
it's not good. Hopefully something comes out of it.
Yeah, and that's it. And we'll see what happens. But let us know what you think about all that jazz. It is a complex subject. It's a very hard subject to traverse. But let us know what you think. Anyway, in other news, talking about Weinstein. And then we said that he was responsible for producing a lot of Tarantino's flicks. Well, Tarantino had to move on because Weinstein's a jerk.
Yeah, you ain't gonna be. Yeah.
So, Tarantino wisely decided, hey, probably not a good idea for the Weinstein Company to produce my shit, even with Harvey gone.
Yeah.
So, he went out and basically shopped his idea. And I was pretty excited about this. Initially, it was originally announced as a Charles Manson family picture.
Sort of.
Written by Tarantino, and that changed into it's more about the time, the pivotal 1969 era, or time surrounding that year that was so pivotal to change in America, and that just happens to involve some facets of the Manson family, among other things. Whatever the case, it's a Tarantino movie, and Tarantino is one of the most prolific and one most beloved and awarded
and apparently weird
dick having dudes out there. So if anybody had the fucking heft to get a studio deal, it was him, and there was bidding wars and stuff, but ultimately he set his foot down and said, I'm going with the studio that one gives me my final cut. It's his cut. And you know, what was the other stipulation? Forgetting here.
I don't know. I just remember the final cut.
Well, the important part here is the final cut.
Final cut, and then final cut's the important one.
Yeah, final cut is the important thing here. You know, not a lot of directors get that. Not a lot of directors have the power to set their foot down and demand that. And that was one of his stipulations. And shockingly, Sony, aka Interferenceville,
yeah, I know,
said we'll do it, and they outbid everybody else. And now Sony's distributing Tarantino. And for the first time, I'm not worried about a Sony movie because
the hit studio behind such hits as Dark Tower and Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but you know, at long last, we're gonna have something that they don't fucking stick their damn foot in. Yeah. And you know, it'll be Tarantino. It's his second.
That being said, I kind of want that Pascal chick to freaking go into a set and start doing shit, just so Tarantino can kick her ass.
Literally. One hopes, but at the same time, one doesn't, because then, you know.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good for him.
I don't want this film compromised at all by anything. Just let him make his movie. He's only got 2 left now. Or is it 3? Because
I like that segue.
He's now involved in the production of the next Star Trek movie.
That's weird.
And J.J. Abrams and him have come to accords with this. Apparently Paramount has given the okay for it to be an R-rated movie.
That's weird, yeah.
Which is really weird.
And apparently recently Patrick Stewart was like, hell yeah, I'll do it if they want me to.
That, you know, that would be my greatest hope, that it would be a Next Generation movie, but I don't think it is. One, because J.J. Abrams is producing the Kelvin timeline movies, but it may. Who knows?
Yeah, it's not really known if it's. I think I heard that it wasn't gonna be in that timeline. I think it's gonna be in its own thing.
Whatever it is,
but I don't know.
The very idea.
That being said, if Picard comes back and Tarantino's involved, that'd be pretty rad.
I'm fucking there, you know. I'm fucking there either way.
Put in some Ian McKellen for no reason.
Yep.
Lobster suits, Bryan Singer. Nope.
Yeah, man, I'm fucking there. Whatever the fuck is happening, I don't give a shit.
It's
Bring
weird.
It on.
It's weird.
Apparently, they had a writer's room, you know, where everybody was kind of tossing around ideas. And the guy that wrote The Revenant kind of ended up getting the upper hand on all the other writers. So he may be the guy writing it, and Tarantino might direct it. What is known is that he's heavily involved in the production. Yeah. Now, if he does direct, the question is this going to be his 10th and final film, or is this going to count as a movie that he does on the side? Because technically...
Like a True Romance or something like that?
Yeah, because technically he didn't write and direct it.
Do you count that? Yeah.
Yeah, you don't count True Romance. You don't count Natural Born Killers.
There you go.
So the question is
this one of those?
Yeah.
Is this one of the trilogy?
Will he count this one as his 10th and final film or not? Because he said after his 10th he's done.
Yeah, he's gotta not do that, because damn, he's gotta direct like 10,000 more movies.
I hope they don't count that as his 10th and final film. One, because of the high probability of failure.
Yeah.
Because Star Trek is beloved, and you know, when even the tiniest change comes onto it, people fucking freak the shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
My Star Trek!
Yeah, exactly. You know who you are. Guy that he just imitated.
Guy who isn't watching this video.
But, yeah, man, so he's definitely going to bring a lot of change.
It's not Prime Timeline! Sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely going to bring a lot of changes to it. And the question is, will they freak out the fans or not?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm watching this thing.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes.
I hope there's a Sam Jackson character in it.
Yeah.
I hope there's Royales with cheese.
I hope John Travolta is not in it.
Hope Michael Madsen's in it.
John
There's
Travolta.
definitely gonna have a killer soundtrack that doesn't fit into the into the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, just my mind fucking spins with what the fucking hell the possibilities are, you know?
There's gonna be like an ultra violent, super satisfying scene, Django style, with Picard just freaking killing fools, and it's gonna be awesome.
Set Phaser to fucking kill for sure at all times.
That's gonna be the tagline.
Yeah, that would be badass. Oh man.
I like how you just like...
I'm just like amused by that. But anyway, yeah, man. Who knows what the fuck is gonna happen there? That's crazy. That's the weirdest news of the week. Another weird piece of news is that 20th Century Fox, or Fox in general, is kind of being bought out in some respects by Disney.
Yeah.
And what's evident is that Disney is making a power play here by getting the Marvel rights back, among other things, I'm sure. But Marvel is a big thing, X-Men, etc., Fantastic Four, and what this means. And really, it's just kind of like a cause for concern now.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool is my biggest concern. You know, that's the first time anything huge and big.
That's true. And then we had finally gotten to a point where Fox was like, you know what? Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And now we get Disney in there, who has notoriously been very hands-on with their movies.
Yeah.
To a point of just complete destroying director cuts.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it hasn't really backfired too much on them. But you never know.
Yeah, Disney is kind of running Marvel and the Star Wars universe like a show more than the movie, you know, as in the production has the final say rather than the directors, which is fine because, like you said, it hasn't really backfired on them yet. Some may argue Rogue One because it has gotten some hate as it goes along, but it was a fine movie. It could have been a lot worse. Given how much was changed, it was good. Yeah. It just depends on...
But the fact that they're doing that is already like...
Yeah, it depends on your point of view. And the reason I say that is because there's already an established timeline for the X-Men movies. So the question is...
Yeah, that's
Are they going to integrate that into the existing Marvel timeline? My hope... See, the thing is... My hope is they don't, and they just introduce the X-Men in a new way, but then you erase things like Deadpool and Logan. Logan... Fine, because that's kind of like an alternative.
Yeah, and I think Deadpool you can get away with because of how
fourth wall breaking it is.
Loose he is. And
shit. The thing is, will they allow that? Will they allow an R-rated movie to go forth? We'll find out how tight they hold on to that or not.
Yeah.
When they release Deadpool, which is already done, Deadpool 2, but then from them forward are they going to continue that or not? And then the bigger question, of course, really is, are they just going to ignore everything that's already there? We got the 2-part Dark Phoenix storyline coming up.
Yeah.
So what is that? What's going on? So really,
I hope they end it with those 2 movies, and then just give it like a year or 2, and then restart because this timeline's already like ugh.
Yeah. Ideally. You're right. Ideally, it would be great if they just finish off the storylines they got going on in the X-Men universe and then reboot within the MCU. And my proposition is this. My Al Smithian proposition is this.
No, you got to wait till the movie comes out, shit on it for many months, and then release your pitch.
Exactly. But check this out. The MCU is established, right? We already know the heroes exist. And although we've had it more upfront, the subplot still exists in MCU, but we've had it more fun in the DC universe. But whatever, I'm just throwing props out to DC for being more upfront about it.
Oh.
But MCU has done it as well, and that's the idea of the repercussions of having superheroes among men, gods among men, so to speak. Civil War had the heaviest overtones in that case.
It only took them 10 movies.
Yeah. Oh. And, so the thing is, my proposition would be bring in the X-Men as if it was a nascent event, like mutants started happening, and do this in the next phase, you know? Bring them in again, finish off the X-Men movies as they are, and that's it. Close that universe off. It's done, finished. That's it. And in the next phase, introduce mutants as a nascent thing. Now humans are being, discovered to be mutants, and now it's not just these superheroes that exist in this world, but it's now there's a threat of your neighbor could be one of those things, and they're powerful. There would be a reason to hate the X-Men, despite the fact that they're still heroes.
Because there's a reason why I never wanted this, and that would actually address my concern. I never wanted the X-Men to join the MCU because of the fact that you have like freaking gods and like Iron Man and shit flying around, but suddenly a guy with claws is going to be a threat. That makes no sense in this world. But if you do that, where suddenly people start getting mutated, and it's not always pretty, like there's a guy who's just like a blob and shit, then that would actually be an interesting. And they could even make the heroes like kind of people go like, well, are they like that too? Or
it would definitely it would stir a lot of intrigue.
Yeah.
It would bring a lot of questions forward about who to trust. And the very idea of someone that you know being powerful enough to kill you. Not just someone you can see on the TV or admire from a distance, or they saved the world, but someone right next to you, you're right, would absolutely bring forth.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting if it was introduced as like almost like a sickness people just start getting, and there's bad people out there. There's gonna be bad shit that happens. That would be interesting. Yeah. So that would be a good way. That would be the way I would have them introduce it. But we don't really know. We don't know what they're gonna do. Are they gonna close that universe off or not? I don't know what's up. What I do hope is, it's too late now, but maybe for the second movie, it would be great to see the Fantastic Four, not the ones we've seen before in the Fox movies, but just a new Fantastic Four be introduced during the events of the second Infinity War movie. Not as the Fantastic Four, but maybe as humans trying to assist the heroes, and they end up getting they have to go into space and they end up getting bombarded, and then from there we can have their own Fantastic Four stories. That would be a cool way to do it, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on. What is kind of exciting is that if that all that stuff does happen, they would be owning Galactus and they would be owning the Silver Surfer. So there could be some interesting shit with that.
We'll see where this fucking
now
deal
we just
goes.
Gotta take down Sony.
Oh man! Speaking of which, Sony just released the Spider-Verse movie trailer, the Spider-Man. What is it called? Into the Spider-Verse.
Some shit like that.
Some animated movie that centers around Mike Morales and introduces the idea of the multiverse and many Spider-Mans, etc. I don't know what to think about it because it's Sony. Mike Morales is one of the few characters that was created by Marvel that didn't feel like a fucking SJW piece of shit. It actually has depth and a fandom that's legit, and so there's room for quality to come in, but it's Sony. There's always that caveat.
It's Sony Animation too, which does not have a good track record.
Yeah.
Also, kind of weird in the trailer. It looked kind of choppy. I don't know if that's just an animation choice. It looked interesting, but there was like a weird choppiness to the animation.
I didn't really notice that. I'll have to watch it again. I did see it on a tiny ass screen, so I don't know. Yeah,
so did I. So maybe
it didn't strike me as particularly great style, but it wasn't
a teaser.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We'll see. We'll see where that goes.
What I was surprised was that it was theatrical.
Yes,
I thought this was just gonna be like
it's just Sony trying their damned hardest
to have the Spider-Man
to do their own thing. Yeah. Now that they've loaned out Spider-Man, and it's not looking good. You know what I'm saying?
Although Venom seems interesting.
Yeah.
But
again, there's now rumors that Agent Venom is going to be part of where the storyline is going. They released the teaser poster for it, which was just a cartoon image. A comic book image type of thing.
Yeah,
that's like
we are Venom or whatever.
Yeah, well, that didn't tell me shit other than something I already know, and it didn't tell me shit about the movie. So whatever, but I have Tom Hardy
alone is interesting.
That's a good choice for Eddie Brock, and so that's interesting on its own. Yeah, you're right about that. But again,
the writer was, I think, the guy that wrote freaking 50 Shades of Grey or something.
I think
it was a chick actually. which doesn't matter. But I think it was someone who wrote 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, it's the fact that 50 Shades of Grey is in her resume.
Yeah. Now there was that little leaked footage from the set of him like yelling at something.
Mm-hmm.
So they are gonna clearly tackle the symbiote thing, which we didn't get in Spider-Man 3. You know, like the duality between them. So it has potential. It's just Sony at this point is like,
Yeah. And then the question comes up: how does this all link to the Spider-Man we know? Does it? Does it not? It's unclear, and they don't even seem to know themselves.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't fucking know. They are making spin-off movies from Spider-Man villains and supporting characters, and it just gets to the point where you're like, where's Spider-Man in this?
Yeah.
I mean, the only, like, Kraven the Hunter is super interesting, but his best storyline has to do with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? And
it's like people don't buy Spider-Man cartoons for the villains; they buy it for Spider-Man and the villains.
Yeah, their interactions and all that shit. Venom's probably the only one that has enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Push to get out on his own, and and then again, he's also kind of like a villain turned anti-hero turned hero. So there's room to work with him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But again,
Sony.
So
Woo!
the fuck.
Woo!
Any other fucking movie news while I browse through this to see what I forgot? Oh, I got one for you.
Sony sucks.
We found out today that Ridley Scott is still pretty adamant on making a Alien movie, and now he's going, this one's not gonna have any aliens in it.
Look, Ridley, freaking make up your mind, dude. You either put the aliens in there or you don't.
The thing is,
stop listening to people. Just do your thing.
It should have been Alien Covenant didn't have any fucking aliens.
Yes.
Not then. We introduced the alien concept, the nascent zeomorph, the neomorph, in Prometheus, but that leap was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So that should have happened. They listened to everybody bitching about Prometheus, and they produced Alien Covenant, which sucked.
Donkeys, by the way.
Yeah, and now it's going back to like, dude, this should have just stayed the course.
Yes.
So now nobody wants this now.
No, I like honestly, kill it. I mean, I'll give it a chance, see if it's good.
I'll give it a chance because I want to see Prometheus pay off.
At this point, because I don't know if it is. Because oh man, like it's Covenant was such a freaking disappointment.
Yeah, it was shit.
I have zero interest to visit the Alien universe unless it's Blomkamp's, which we're never gonna get.
Nope. So. In other news, the DCEU speculation wheel continues to turn.
Gotta love them fake ass news, huh?
Ben Affleck is now rumored to leave after Flashpoint, which
makes sense.
Yeah, if he's gonna leave, that's the place to do it. Yes. That the literal time and timelines are fucked with in Flashpoint.
It makes perfect sense. I would even be fine if they do a soft reboot of the DC universe after Flashpoint because it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
that's how they brought in New 52 into the comics. It makes perfect sense for Barry to come back and everything's different. Tonal changes would make sense. Cast changes would make sense. Totally fine with that.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people weren't happy with the DCEU as it is. We were. But
if you're going to do a change, do it like that.
Do it, where it feels natural. And so that's
I mean, and I want Affleck to stay. Affleck is perfect as Batman. Yeah.
So
again, we don't know about the validity of this stuff, but if they are going to do it, that is sensible to do it after Flashpoint.
The two big rumored people to replace him are Jake Gyllenhaal and John Hamm.
Okay.
Either one I'm okay with. John Hamm was honestly kind of like my choice to be Superman.
Yeah, I can see that,
originally. I love Henry Cavill, and he should be Superman forever. But, either one fits the role. Gyllenhaal, a lot of people think maybe not, but he's bulked up before, and to see him bulked up, I can see it, definitely. Yeah. And he definitely, obviously, has the chops for it. He's a far better actor than Affleck, that's for sure.
I think Ham could be really good as Bats. I don't know. I don't feel Gyllenhaal, but you never know. He might surprise me. He seems more like someone who would play a good villain. But a Batman is a little weird for me. But yeah, you never know.
Yeah, we'll see, man. But again, the point here being that Flashpoint, like that little point, that Flashpoint would be a good way to usher Affleck out if he wants to leave.
Yeah.
and just shake it all up and reboot, like you said.
Interestingly, Henry Cavill only has one more movie, I believe, in his contract also. And if he were to appear in Flashpoint, like he does in the comics, it would be very brief.
Mm-hmm.
And they could recast if they want.
Yeah.
I know everybody hates him, and his screen time has been very low in the movie. So if they want to, Flashpoint is the way to do it, I would say.
Apparently, he is very keen on remaining to be Superman.
Hopefully, because he's good.
Hopefully, yeah, he's fantastic.
They just need to give him more screen time, because damn.
Another big trailer reveal was the Alita Battle Angel trailer that came out. I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this?
I saw it on mute, so...
Yeah,
I was confused by why she looks like an alien.
Because
I don't know them.
I kind of foresaw this fucking coming, but again, the whole whitewashing thing is coming into play again. Look, man. First of all, this is an adaptation, okay? For American audiences.
Answer me this question: was it animated or was it just like weird CG?
It's a person, and the character is CGI enhanced.
Oh, okay.
Now, granted, she is...
It looked like an animation to me, because I was looking at a small screen.
Yeah, she is... she's supposed to be a synthetic organism, a fucking robot in essence, right?
Uh-huh.
And then she's been picked up from scrap and rebuilt. So it makes sense that she looks that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, she looks exactly like she does in the comics. Now, the big thing, of course, is like with Ghost in the Shell was like, well, she's supposed to be Japanese. And really, I'm like... Why are you focusing on them when the other people that are actual people are supposed to be Japanese, kind of?
Yeah.
So what the fuck? But look, first of all, this is an adaptation for primarily American audiences. So that's how adaptations kind of work, you know? You know, if I'll use a bad example. When the Indian market decided to adapt it, guess what? They changed it to their likings, and the white people were played by Indian people. You know, and et cetera, et cetera.
And it was ass.
And it was complete fucking shit. But the point is,
we weren't all here like, oh, that's brown washing.
Yeah, come on, man.
I don't know if that was racist or not.
People are treating this like it's like fucking racism, like they want to hang people. And like, what are you talking about? They're just casting whoever's suitable for the role according to the vision of the director. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that fucking shit. The trailer looked pretty fucking awesome. We'll see how it is as an adaptation or as a standalone film.
Bryan Singer still sucks.
Bryan Singer does reek. Anything else you're thinking of as I look through this?
Bryan Singer. There's going to be a new Lethal Weapon.
Did you just see that?
You like that?
Not
crazy about that. There's apparently going to be a new freaking Narnia too.
Yeah,
which no one cared.
The Silver Chair is being adapted.
It's gonna be a reboot or whatever.
At this point, I don't give a fuck. If it's good, fine. It's not like any of the other ones were very good.
Yeah, so I was surprised there was more than 2. By the way, I looked it up recently. It was like 50.
Yeah,
and they all suck.
I will say that the Silver Chair is, if I remember correctly, is pretty cool. It's the darkest one, and they're not really dark, but you know what I'm saying. It is the darkest one in the series.
I'm gonna say the Guardian recommended the first one to us, and it stunk.
It did fucking stink.
It did have James McAvoy in it as a freaking satire, or whatever, however you say that shit.
Satyr?
Whatever. Care.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like those movies, and they got progressively worse. So whatever. Fuck it.
There was that little thing. Who's the guy directing Aquaman? I forgot his name.
James Wan.
Yeah, which he came out saying that they're letting him do his own thing in the movie.
That's good, man.
Which is good.
James Wan,
which I believe because WB seems to have a
they're a bit more lenient, and he's of course created the Conjuring universe for them, and I don't know what he's doing Insidious, but anyway, the guy has created...
It's Universal, I believe.
Yeah, guy has created universes before, so he knows what's up, and he's kind of like that guy that just crept up out of nowhere, you know? His big splash on the scene was Saw, of course, which is stylistically different to just about everything else he's done. It had a very MTV, quick edit, gritty feel, Saw did. But everything else he's done has been different in its own way. And if anything, he's shown versatility. with what he does, and he's primarily known as a horror director.
Yeah, which is interesting.
And producer, and that's like his forte. He's done that since he came onto the scene, and he continues to do it to this very day. And to see where he takes this, I mean, that's pretty interesting.
We did get that, it's like, what was it, Entertainment Weekly photo or whatever. But it was just Momoa freaking standing, looking cool. So there's not much to talk about there. I just wanted to say how he came out saying that they are letting him do his own thing. I think they realized listening to people was dumb after Justice League. And they're just like, yeah, all right. I also heard that leading up to the thing, they said that there were going to be a little more. But you can't really freaking believe any of these rumors unless someone who is involved in the production comes out and says something like he did. And that's one thing I got to say WB does pretty badly, is that they don't say anything. And so you just hear all these rumors and you're just like, oh, this has got to be fact or whatever. And they don't come out and they're like, no. If I were freaking them, I'd be like, dudes, just wait.
And that's a big fucking problem. Yes. Nobody fucking waits.
And yeah, like, so you hear all this bullshit. This freaking culture that we live in. Hold on, I gotta go off kilter here and talk about this little culture that we live on. Hyping something up to ludicrous heights. And when something comes out and guess what? It's just another movie, or guess what? It's just another game, and you don't get what you wanted, and you gotta freaking shit on it. I hate it. I hate this dumbass culture we live in.
It's not even about the hype anymore. It's about this is what we want.
Yeah.
And when lo and behold, somebody that's not you is making the movie, and you don't get exactly what you've been talking about since news of the movie leaked out, you're all fucking pissy. The fuck, man? We're seeing other people's takes on stuff. Not your fucking take, not my fucking take, that person's take on it. And you either accept that or you don't.
Yeah.
Don't write the story before it's fucking written, and that's been a big issue.
It's fine freaking speculating like, oh, look, that looks cool. This might be that. That's fine when you do it like here, right? It's just like two people talking like, oh, they could do this. They could do that. Wouldn't that be cool? But when you go online and you say, this has to happen. Yep. Superman has to have the black suit or else it's shit. And then it's not in the movie and everybody just shits on the thing for it not being in there.
Let's not forget that that's a good example that you used that. A lot of the demands they made for the DCEU universe, like a good example, BVS, they were like, oh, they ruined the Death of Superman movie. Look, Death of Superman was a colossal event in comics history. But it was also one of the most hated events in comics history. People forget that. Comic fans didn't like it. And they abhorred a lot of the concepts. They really hated a lot of the concepts that came out of it, including the mulleted black suit Superman. And now they're like, it must have this or I'll hate it forever. Yeah. No, you whiny shit. You're creating your own narrative, and now nothing will ever fulfill that, and you'll hate it forever. Yeah, you're right. It's ridiculous.
And then when you have just like again, when you have this culture we live in, where you could just go online, make up a story, and not even be involved in the movie, and people will choose to believe that narrative because it suits their stupid ass views. Yeah. That's a problem.
Yep.
For example, we recently had a guy who worked in Justice League, saying that most of the VFX were done for Snyder's, but it wasn't fully complete. But he said most of them are done, right? Mm-hmm. Then you have a guy who didn't work in Justice League come out and be like, it's freaking not complete. It's impossible to have an extended cut. Let's put this in context. I would be fine if there's an extended cut. I don't need it because I love the movie nonetheless. But people do want it, right? So there's this guy who said, yes, I worked in the movie. It does have this. It did have these scenes cut out. It is possible. And you have this guy who didn't work in the movie saying it's literally an impossibility. And you have sites like MovieWeb and comicbook.com going, this is an absolute fact. It's impossible for there to be an extended cut.
Yeah.
From this guy who didn't even work in the movie.
And it's not only bad journalism, it's irresponsible journalism because
let's pick and choose what we want.
Journalists know damn well that the majority of the people will only read the fucking headline.
Yes.
They won't go in and read the article. They'll believe the headline. They'll comment on it, and that's it.
Yep.
So they do these misleading-ass headlines. And then on top of that, their journalism sucks dicks.
Donkeys.
And like people like MovieWeb and CBR and what's that fucking other piece of shit? Well, they have a bias, and it shows fucking horribly on a lot of stuff.
Yep.
So it's just like, come on, man, get some fucking responsibility in your fucking trousers. On that note,
trousers.
One person that took advantage of all the rumor mill online recently was Jordan Peele. He did this pretty amusing video about fan theories about Get Out, where he dispelled them and or verified that they were real or not. And it was a pretty enjoyable thing. I don't recommend seeing it if you haven't seen the movie because it'll ruin a lot of the movie. But if you have seen the movie, check that out. And he just goes through a gamut of fan theories. And it was kind of entertaining because some of them weren't even really fan theories. It was just people figuring out the movie and its complex, layered, textures. But the ones where they were like, what? Where did you come up with that shit? And they were like adamant that this was fucking how it was. And he would just be like, dude, what the hell is this, man? What the fuck were you smoking?
My version!
Yeah, so that was pretty amusing. But I say all that to say this. Jordan Peele has recently been verified as the new man behind a Twilight Zone reboot series.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
So that's super exciting.
That's
because
cool.
He's clearly a very smart guy. He clearly gets the genre. And I'm more behind this than Shyamalan behind a Tales from the Crypt reboot.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because Shyamalan's still iffy for me.
Oh, yeah.
I fucking absolutely loved Split. But that's one movie in a long barrage of movies ever since,
And I have a feeling if you stroke his ego, he's going to go off the deep end.
Yeah, he's going to go off the deep end. So,
there was like a couple years ago, there was a news story that I guess went nowhere that there was going to be a Twilight Zone reboot with the writer of BioShock heading it. And it was going to be kind of like an interactive type of... I don't know if it was a game. They never said what it was. No one knew if it was a game or if it was like a weird interactive media show or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, BioShock has some of the best writing in video game. That would have been interesting. But this dude's never done shows. He's never done movies. So, yeah, take it on. Peel it on. That was a good one.
I mean, it was pretty good, right?
Yeah, peel it on. That's what people say, right?
Yeah, man. So
peel it on.
I'm trying to move on past
peel it on, dude.
What was I gonna say?
Peel it on.
I was not gonna say peel it on. Yeah, I think we pretty much.
We're gonna pull back the peel.
That was one more thing I was gonna say.
Peel it on.
First of all, I gotta say that the New Mutants being kind of like a horror movie is an interesting concept. I don't know where that's fucking going. I mean, I kind of get an idea of where it's going, but it's definitely
not with Disney.
Yeah, it's definitely a risky thing, but now again, we don't know what the hell that's gonna end up with Disney. But anyway, I say all that to say this. Not that it has any relation, but apparently, there's going to be a G.I. Joe movie set around Snake Eyes.
Cool.
Which is not the Snake Eyes that we know if you're a G.I. Joe fan or have ever enjoyed G.I. Joe. But the current, the current comic iteration of Snake Eyes, which is female.
I can't wait for all the Al Smiths of the world to come on and be like, where's my male Snake Eyes?
Actually, Al Smith, I think it would be like all for it. I don't know why, I just get that feeling. But the point is...
Suddenly he's going to be a G.I. Joe fan and hate on it.
The point is that... the thing... Okay, look, this is my complaint about this. Not the female thing. If you know anything about me is that I like female-led shit, media. It's just... It has to be done right. And The thing is, we don't even have one good G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah, no shit.
Now you're doing this. Like, how about establish something good first before you take one of those characters out of it by himself and make a movie? Now, it might be a good movie. In which case, I highly suggest it not be linked to any of the other movies. I haven't read enough on it to verify whether that's the case or not. But I really hope it's not, because those other movies suck. So that would be bad. But in the comics, apparently the decision was made because of the good reception the female Snake Eyes has in the comics. Hearing a lot of the reactions I've heard online, mainly, the reception's not that rosy. People are like, "What the fuck is this? Why is this?" You know, that maybe they're not appalled by it, but they're like, "What?" Now, this is one of the few universes where it kind of makes sense. Unlike Marvel, where they're just replacing people for no damned reason.
And then bringing the old people in to tell you, hey, like this new person.
Yeah. Because the G.I. Joe universe is one of the few universes where people age in real time. So, Snake Eyes is old as fuck, so he's literally being replaced for a reason. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. But that was my complaint, really. Mm-hmm. Like, how about you make one good G.I. Joe movie before you fucking...
You know what's weird? That 2000 AD is another one of those universes that apparently is in real time. Mm-hmm. So Judge Dredd is like 10 trillion years old.
And now he's like in the future and shit.
Yeah. Well, I think the IDW stuff doesn't count. Otherwise, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just the 2000 AD stuff.
And we're going to cap this off with a couple of...
Donkey dicks?
One that's going to tie back to the beginning, and that's that... Danny Hyde Masterson.
Oh, yeah.
From the
70s show. I want to talk about that.
Yeah. Has been booted off of Netflix.
It's about time, because this one came out around the time the Singer stuff came out.
Yeah,
it's just no one cared about him because he was in nothing.
Danny Masterson apparently did some raping back in his day. And
he was well versed in the spit roast.
Again, it's all allegations, but they seem... the allegations come from apparently reliable sources, and they've been persistent, these allegations. Mm-hmm. And it was before all this hubbub, like you said, so that lends even more credibility to them. And there wasn't enough evidence to show physical evidence and stuff, so the police had previously disregarded them as having insubstantial evidence. So it went away, right? And then it came back, and then it went away, and now it's back, and now he's fired from the ranch. All I gotta say about this,
people watch.
Yeah, all I gotta say about this is good. Fuck the ranch. Get that shit off of there and produce something else.
I mean, that's a show.
Gives a shit.
Technically.
But speaking of baby rapers,
okay.
Not that Danny Masterson raped babies.
We're gonna make this like a weekly baby rape weekly.
Baby rape update.
Yeah.
Because fuck, they're coming out of the woodworks.
Dude, if we did that, we'd have a video every 2 minutes.
But speaking of actual baby rapers, Kevin Spacey was in Baby Driver, which is, again, he's in it.
Yeah.
But will probably be in my top 3 best movies this year. When we do that list. Probably, most likely, I'm going to say. But apparently Baby Driver 2 has been approved for production. Of course, Kevin Spacey won't be in it, but
he's gonna be driving babies.
Yeah, that's why they actually
railing.
That's why they named it Baby Driver to begin with. It had nothing to do with baby, but that's super exciting because one, it's an Edgar Wright movie, reason enough to be excited, and 2, because Baby Driver was fucking great. So hopefully we'll get more of a good thing versus a scenario like Kingsman where we just went like, ooh, they killed that really quick.
Can we talk about Kingsman?
I mean, go for it.
Sucked. Donkeys. That's one of those movies that gets worse the more you think about it.
Yeah, it was not a good sequel. It was, in fact, one of the worst sequels I've ever seen.
I'm not opposed to giving it another chance because maybe it was just both of us were in a horrible mood.
I was in a pretty good mood. I don't think
we were. We had just seen Kingsman. We had just gotten our asses raped with one of the best action movies in the last 10 years. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it was pretty damn great. And then we went to see Golden Circle, and we're like, why is Elton John in this? And it sucks.
I mean, I could have even lived with Elton John.
Yeah.
Had it not been for...
donkey dicking.
Everything being so fucking bland. Stretched out.
That's the biggest crime. Like, it wasn't an offensively bad movie other than a couple parts. like I said in our review, I liked some of the stuff, but it was just so bland.
Yeah.
So like it lacked all of what made the first one good.
You could see how thin everything was because they stretched everything.
Yeah.
And they took advantage of zero of the good opportunities they had to take. Hey, here's the Statesman, an entirely different branch of this fraternity of men spies.
Let's have them do nothing.
Let's have them do fucking nothing.
And now I know that he wants to do a Statesman spin-off. It's like, how about they were in the second one instead of doing a spin-off? It would have been nice if they were in the second one.
Yeah, all that drab, went nowhere, paid off for shit stuff in the middle could have all been Statesman stuff.
Yeah.
And that would have been fine. And then we could have gotten a spin-off.
Pretty good end. As in, like, action-wise, it was good at the end. But
yeah, that's it.
Man.
Nothing
that
spectacular.
was a movie where it's like, dude, freaking make a shorter movie and you'll probably have a decent movie. But why do you have to make it freaking 2.5 hours long and it stinks?
You know, and I said this in our review, but I really appreciate when sequels acknowledge stuff that was in the previous movie, which is a problem with a lot of sequels. We're just going to forget about that and move on.
This one kind of did a little too much.
This one did it to a fucking fault.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like fucking shut up. I don't care that he's still going out with his princess chick and then we get a whole subplot about it.
Yeah.
Like shut the fuck up and move on. I was proven wrong there. Like, all right, we don't need that too much.
It could have been good, but damn, it was bad.
It was horrible, man. One of the worst sequels ever. We will say this: The Guardian fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And
that being said, when I asked him if it was good, he did do his panted. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't as great as the first one, but it was pretty good.
Some reluctance.
Yeah, which I think was kind of him being like cautious in case we liked it.
All right.
So there's chances of him. I think he liked it because he liked the first one. So like the only reason I watched Kingsman, because Kingsman was a weird movie. Like no one was looking forward to it. No one knew it existed. You know, it's loosely based on that comic. Like no one knew about that freaking comic. And then it came out and people were like, oh, you know what? This is pretty good. There was like no push. I remember there was a push on YouTube where you could see that like they would show clips from the movie, but they showed the worst clips, and I hated it before I saw the movie. I was like, man, this movie looks like shit. What is this freaking claw-legged chick jumping out at dudes and shit? Looks like ass. And then the Guardian, for some reason, saw it. I forgot why. Probably because he's a loser. He saw it and was like, dude, you gotta see Kingsman. It's freaking great. And he's the reason I watched it. He's like, you like James Bond, you're gonna love this movie. And I was like, alright, I freaking download it because I'm not gonna pay for this corny looking shit. And then I was like, damn, this is freaking badass. So it was like a surprise hit. No one saw this one coming. By no one, I mean me. And then everybody loved it once it came out. Man, this sequel's ass. So I think it was him like kind of wanting to like it.
Yeah.
And kind of just being like,
attaching himself to the things in it that are decent.
Good, which is something I did. I was like, I could have loved it if it had fleshed those things out instead of focusing on turds.
I will say your view on it has changed dramatically from our review in terms of you being more vehemently against it.
Yes, because I'm telling you, it's one of those things where it could have been so good and it had stuff that was good in it. But it's more enraging that it didn't use the good stuff. Yeah. It's just like it had the Statesman, did nothing with them.
Yeah.
It's like, do something with these characters, damn it.
Yeah.
Stop focusing on the shitty princess. Why is Elton John a freaking star?
That was my big issue with it. I fucking absolutely hated what they did. And then it's a shame because like you, I wanted it to be cool and I was hoping for it to be cool.
I got my blood boiling!
And none of the cool stuff, for me, none of the cool stuff in it was enough for me to hold on and go,
yeah.
I mean, at least that, nope.
That's nothing. The thing, like, too, like, they brought back Galahad, cool. But then they stretched the plot out so thin.
That was possibly the dullest thing. Even duller than the princess shit. At least the princess shit had some, like, amusing moments.
It could have been good, but since they brought him back so early and then they had to do all this other dumbass plot, by the time he does get to kick ass, you're like, oh, well, we already had...
The rock festival shit? Yeah. Oh, man, it was terrible. But I will say this: it's good that you brought up the one of the things that made the first one so great was that it was a great lampooning of the James Bond series
without disrespecting it.
Yeah, without being.
It felt like someone who's a fan going.
Yeah, like fully indulging what makes Bond Bondy and corny, and, but doing it well, and then at the same time plowing new ground and doing something innovative with it. Part 2 felt like the worst Bond movie.
Yeah,
the one the one where exactly, long, boring, nobody gives a shit about anything.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Dumbass gimmicks, they're stupid.
In fact, I would rather watch the most boring and long Bond movie than Kingsman 2, because with the long, boring Bond movie, you can criticize it for having been a colossal failure.
Yeah.
And because, I forgot what the saying is, but if you aim for brilliance and it's funny, then you've made shit. That's how a boring Bond movie can be fun. Because they're aiming for a certain type of thing, but they just make shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas Kingsman, it's like part of it is that it's shitty and corny and wild and crazy.
But it failed to make that interesting.
And it aimed for that,
and it
was just dull.
Yeah.
It had the opposite effect. It fucking sucked, man. I hate it.
And there was... dude, the best part was the Merlin stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed the Merlin stuff. Like I said, there's some stuff. There's like little glimpses of really cool shit. It's just the case it's in. It's like having the most high-end gaming PC level freaking innards. I've been watching a lot of Linus Tech Tips recently. Is why I brought up the PC shit. The best insides of a gaming PC. And you have a caca to put it on. you just have a massive flat turd to put a case to case it in.
Yep.
It's like there's some cool shit in there, but it's still shit.
Yeah, it was not a good movie. That's definitely going to probably be in my
It's going to be in my top freaking 0, dude. I don't even know what that means.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I hate it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be my bottom.
It's gone worse.
5 or 3. Dare I say, maybe even the first. Fuck.
I know, a movie that had a kind of an opposite effect was interesting, because the first week after I watched it, I hated it. Even though I liked it when I first saw it. And now I'm kind of like, I gotta give it another chance. It was with Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Where I was like, that first week, every day, the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I freaking disliked that about that movie so much. And like the Hulk. And I was just like, man, this was a missed opportunity. But now I'm like, all right, maybe I just gotta watch it again. Different freaking...
Yeah.
Because...
I think you do,
like, that was one of those movies I felt like the set time that they had for it was too much. Like, I felt that middle ground way too long, and it had the Hulk in it, which made it feel so long. But maybe if I just go in there and I'm like, try to ignore the Hulk, maybe it won't be that bad.
Yeah, I that's why I greatly enjoyed it. I absolutely love the movie, despite the fucking Hulk being in it. It fucking sucks, and I hate his balls.
For so long.
But the thing is, I managed to separate myself from it. I was like, he's gonna suck, and that's it. And I can't do anything to fix that. And I liked everything else,
That's another thing. Like, I really like the ending. I'll even go as far to say I love the third act, even though the Hulk was pointless in it. Well, other than that fight, I guess, with the big ass wolf. I like the beginning. It's just that middle bit when they're in that like freaking other world. I felt stretched so long. So I just gotta see it again.
Yeah. Even that stuff for me was super enjoyable, except for the Hulk stuff. But that's because of the other stuff. Like, I loved Jeff Goldblum. He was.
See, I could have.
He was awesome. Right. He was awesome to me.
I felt like he wasn't Goldblumian enough.
I mean, that's all he was. He was just Jeff Goldblum. He wasn't even the Grandmaster. He was just Jeff Goldblum. He's gotta be
touching legs and freaking eating halls and choking on them and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I loved that shit. I was very pleased with that. I liked the Valkyrie, all that stuff. Everything except the Hulk. I know you didn't like what's his face.
Yeah, I thoroughly disliked Korg.
I really fucking liked him.
Even I'll say this.
Even when he pushed the joke boundary,
yeah,
I even liked that.
I talked to the Guardian, and he liked the humor, and he liked Korg, but he agreed with me that the thing after Valhalla, or I keep saying that Asgard explodes, and he's like, "Well, look at that! Oh, look." That even he was like, "Oh man, just let something be serious for more than 2 seconds." And that's the feeling I had throughout the movie.
The thing is, since I had cut out the Hulk entirely in my head, like, fuck this guy. In fact, in my head, I just replaced him with Beta Ray Bill, and that was that. Like, fuck it. I'm just seeing Beta Ray instead of this shit.
His ass.
But because of that, none of Korg's shit felt extraneous. You know, it just
That's
didn't.
the thing. Like, the Hulk was already pushing my freaking limits, dude. And then you got Korg on top of it. I'm like,
yeah, see,
be freaking serious for a second.
That's
damn
the
it.
thing.
Show more hella stuff. That's cool. Why are you?
He should have been the comic relief, not the Hulk.
Yeah.
Because the Hulk's comedy fell flat and it sucked, and he was a dull character, and it made no sense where he was. So yeah, I just accepted the fact that the Hulk was shit. So everything else was like, and just in general, everything else I really fucking loved. I loved how Kirby-esque it was. I loved how inane and comic book like it was. You know, I am like you, I think, a big fan of the DCEU and how much more serious it takes things. I like that. I know a lot of people don't, but I fucking absolutely love that. And that's probably because I grew up reading comics like the Vertigo imprint and stuff like that. That was my shit. I like that. I fell into superheroes because I started reading other shit. You know, of course I was aware of superheroes. Who wasn't, right? But, you know, that's how I got into comics, because of the more serious shit. So I always preferred the more serious shit. That's just personal preference. But once you get into superheroes, you realize how fucking stupid the whole idea really is, you know? And Marvel especially, and, you know, DC in the 60s and shit like that, were really responsible for some fucking inane bullshit. And the movie really embraces that. And it does it without, you know, ever compromising its storyline, which is good, with the exception of the Hulk. But I absolutely love that, man. It was silly in the point where I was like, this is how silly and stupid comic books can get. And that it was done through Thor, a comic character has never been so silly in the comics. He's always been this super serious, sometimes to the point of dullness character.
Yeah.
And that they do it with that was super amusing to me. You know, I just really loved it. And it paid so much homage to a lot of the storylines in the comic books without ever being just the storyline, which was really cool. But again,
I'm ultimately fine with it because it looks like Black Panther's not gonna be a freaking full out comedy. You know what I mean? It's just like, it seems like Marvel's with this year's installments went the route that I didn't want it to go, where it's just everything has to be funny, and it's like,
like I said,
and it got progressively more so with a movie that did it really well in Guardians, and a movie that I thought didn't do it very well with Thor. But obviously that's not going to be the case with Black Panther and Infinity War, so I'm fine with it ultimately. I just felt this year was a little like, for me.
I'm on kind of like the opposite end of that. I kind of like, I mean, Doctor Strange came out at the end of last year.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
But, you know, I'll lump it in there because, you know, what do we get? Just 3 movies this year?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll lump it in there, you know, because I'll lump it in there for this reason, because Doctor Strange was a more serious affair, despite, you know, and like, look,
and the humor was the worst part.
I like the fat monk though.
Yeah, I know. I
fucking loved it, dude.
Man.
Beyonce, I loved it. I mean, it was that for me was like, that's fine comic relief, because this is a character all of his own.
It wasn't too bad, because at least it wasn't super. Every single character has to be over.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, I'll say this. In retrospect, that fat monk, freaking Oscar-worthy compared to anything in Thor Ragnarok, because I felt like there was too much comic relief in Thor Ragnarok. Whereas, but at least it made sense in the context, though. But that fat monk, I could hang out with that fat monk right now. I ain't gonna complain about the fat monk. I'll hang out with him. I'll dance with Beyonce. What?
Well, this is what I was going to say. The fat monk, I'm okay with that. I'm just calling him the fat monk now. But anyway, I'm okay with the fat monk because that's a character all of his own. And if he was saddled with the comic relief, that makes sense. Well, what I wasn't okay with was like the weird little offs, like the fucking cape petting him. Like, there should have been no comic relief with the other characters.
Occasionally he'll say a weird little joke and you're like,
yeah,
this doesn't fit your character, dude.
But other than that, I was fine. But it was very tonally kind of like a drab affair, a gloomy affair. Intentionally so, in a good way. I actually loved Doctor Strange. And then Guardians, of course, we already established Guardians is funny and kind of wild and wacky. So that was great. I absolutely loved Guardians.
I gotta say, man, it was pretty restrained, especially compared to Thor Ragnarok. They had a lot of
hold on. Let me get there.
Dramatic moments.
I know you didn't like Spider-Man Homecoming, but I absolutely loved Spider-Man Homecoming. It took me by surprise because I was ready to hate this thing.
Stinker in my book.
I think it's possibly the only movie in the entire Marvel movie canon where it feels like the universe is actually one, because we get that man on the street feel. It's done from the point of the view of just a person, even though he is Spider-Man, but it's done from that point of view, and they spread it out over the characters. And Spider-Man always has kind of like a jocular sense, not only himself but the comics, along with the kind of like the drama and stuff. So I felt it captured all that while being something of its own, which again I didn't expect. So I really like that. And Thor, I know you say that there was an overbearing amount of humor, but it was kind of like the Thor movies were just amping up more and more into humor territory. So it didn't take me off my feet. Like, it didn't, disbalance me when I saw that. I was actually very accepting of that. Now, what I will agree with you on is that the movie does feel like two movies glued together. Personally, I would have preferred a more serious affair because of the subject matter, but considering they didn't just make the Hela stuff completely serious and the Thor stuff completely humorous, they actually kind of blended the waters, and it actually worked. Like when Hela does comedic stuff, it works exceptionally well. And and it fits her character. And then by this time, we're just kind of used to Thor being this weird, funny guy, which is so bizarre to me now. But it works for me. It works. And so for me, this year, to contrast you, was actually kind of like the one I had the most fun in terms of what was being offered by Marvel. Was it the best year? No, of course not. But it was the one I had most fun in. And again, it took me by surprise because I wasn't expecting that, especially with Spider-Man, and especially with Thor, because the Hulk fucking sucks so much.
Horrible.
But I loved it. So we'll see where, because now, of course, like you said, Black Panther is going to be obviously a very different affair.
Yeah.
And it's weird because the first trailer gave us the impression of something a lot more serious and very culturally driven.
Yeah.
Whereas this second trailer kind of give it like a hood feel.
It's weird.
Which is weird because
it's kind of got like a weird futuristic hood feel. And there's like these gangs and shit. And it looks interesting.
I don't know exactly where it's going to go.
Yeah. I hope it's good. But I don't know. We'll see. Infinity War looks great.
The point here being, of course, that this is all leading to Infinity War. So having a movie that buffers away from straight up humor
is good.
I'm
good. Glad they're doing that.
Conversely, if it just went from Ragnarok to Infinity War, I'd be okay with that too, because enough was set up there. However, we do need. It's very valuable, I should say, to have that buffer where it just weans you back into a certain tone. And then, of course, the question comes when Infinity War comes: there's so many fucking characters in this movie that you begin to wonder if they're going to repeat the formula of the villain getting zero screen time, which they're at danger of doing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many characters you have to set up before anything gets moving.
All this stuff together.
Now, they do have, of course, the benefit of all the movies setting up where the characters are at.
But Marvel hasn't taken advantage of that stuff as of late.
Yeah, that's the thing. And
that's the thing that Justice League did so well, where it's like, you don't need to set up the villain.
Yeah.
You already had him set up.
And granted, the Russo brothers have proven that they can make a non-villain driven movie interesting with the characters.
But Thanos is different. You kind of have to make him cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. You need to have this villain have screen time.
Yeah.
You need, because you haven't given him enough screen time. And now, of course, anybody that's seen the DCEU, well, Steppenwolf didn't get enough screen time. No, but he was sufficiently set up. And you could say that about Thanos, except Thanos has a lot more to say.
Yeah.
As a character, he has a lot more to say. You know, Steppenwolf is just a stepping stone to something bigger. Thanos is the big daddy, so he needs screen time. He needs to be developed. And so it's I don't know, I hope they can't make him an anemic character.
Yeah.
It's just, it can't be done anymore. You can't. Now the Russos have achieved greatness with an anemic character with Zemo, which I know still a lot of people don't like, but I think that how little screen time he got, and he had such an impacting
unlike the entire universe, really.
Yeah, he had such an impacting motivation that it just made fucking sense when he was the amount of time he was there, and when he had that impact. Thanos, you need to see him do things, and you need to see him, you know, and it just scares me that they have that many characters. Unless these movies are going to be 4 hours long each, then maybe, but you know what I'm saying? But we'll see, I guess. It's a waiting game now.
Yeah. We're
the trailer did look epic.
It did look good. Good. People are saying that he looked like freaking Homer Simpson, which I agree.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm not a big fan of his shirt.
That's weird.
I want him to wear that armor. That being said, did they give a reasoning for him not wearing his armor? It was basically doesn't need it because he's got the gauntlet, which makes sense. But still, looks weird.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. It's probably gonna be good. It's probably gonna be great, actually. What do we got for DC next year? Aquaman, right?
Aquaman.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be cool.
And then after that is what?
Flashpoint, I believe, or no, Shazam?
Is that what's
going on? I don't know. I know Shazam is definitely in casting already, and there's already a writer and director attached. Whereas Flashpoint doesn't have a director. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Zachary Levi made an appearance at the Video Game Awards. Owned EA Games by bringing out his little pamphlet to announce who's going to win. And was like, oh, look at that. I got to pay a microtransaction. Open it, goes, isn't that stupid? Owning EA for the recent Battlefront thing. That was hilarious. But what I wanted to say is, looking pretty buff, dude. He's really beefing up.
I mean, he better, because, you know, Shazam.
I like Zachy. He's pretty great. He was pretty great as what was his name? Fendral and Thor 2. No one noticed the fact that he had taken over. He's a really charismatic guy. He was in Chuck, which I actually ended up liking despite mocking back in the day. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, we'll see what happens there.
They already cast the kid, and they
might have a Black Adam appear before Shazam movie and something, apparently.
Suicide Squad is the rumor.
Yeah, so that actually is pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like,
again continuing that theme of stuff is set up in other movies.
Yeah. The thing is, how far will they be continuing the themes laid down by Zack Snyder before and past Flashpoint change? I don't know. But since Suicide Squad might happen after or before, we don't really know. Either way, there's a chance for them to continue those themes, or conversely, just introduce a character before he becomes a bigger part of something else. Either way, it's good, laying good groundwork. So that's pretty fucking cool. And it would be really interesting to see that amount of characters versus this one guy to really establish how much of a big bad he can be.
Yeah.
Because he can be, and he's a very potent villain. So that would be a good way to do it. Have an entire fucking team have to fight him, you know?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. So we'll see, man. Anyway, that's been enough chat for one day. This is our second podcast. Check out the first one, Movie Talk. We'll continue doing these every now and then. You know, just to fulfill some quota. No, just to, you know, for a little weekend listening.
Mm-hmm.
And stay tuned for more of our stuff. We'll be, of course, continuing our movie series and so on and so forth. We'll be doing a top five best and worst movies of what year is this? 2017.
You know Kingsman's going to be in there.
Yeah. In January, we'll be doing that, you know, once the year is over. And we got to get a couple of movies in before that. Mm-hmm. And so stay tuned for that. And anyway, this has been Ahab and the Goon Tick. with the TDS podcast number 2. And we're signing out.
Number 2, like poo.